There's always something to catch in Key West, even in the off-season. Looks like a good little piece of structure.
Oh, it's awesome. I got a couple like yellowtail rods rigged up right there. Yeah, we're gonna put the chum in. The reef fishing is really good this time of year.
Black's kind of the one thing we haven't been able to get done out here.
You know, Ali's had some terrible luck. Hasn't got the feel for that big grouper bottom fishing here in the Keys. Oh, Ali, get ready, get ready.
My name is Ali Hussainy. I grew up in Southern California and now operate one of the largest sport fishing websites in the world. Just another day at the office?
Not yours. I'm Rush Maltz. I got you. What you seeing? Florida Keys native and career fishing guide for the past 20 years. When I come out to California, you can let me catch all the 300-pound tunas.
Our passion is our profession, and we know there's more to fishing than just the catch.
We explore the people, places, and species that make up the culture of fishing. One of the most common questions I get is, what's your downtime? What's your off season? Well, we really don't have an off season. Yeah, I'm gonna try and pin each corner because this thing really likes to twist. What we have is a time of year where it does slow down a little bit. The weather gets a little warmer, and most of our migratory fish, they go up north and they're not around. As the season slows down for me and the weather gets a little warmer, it's the perfect time for me to get some stuff done on the boat that I need to get done. I like those new motors. They got maybe 3 hours on them. I basically repower every year, once a year. It just makes sense for me, you know? I put so many hours on running charters in 1 year that I can get rid of them. Somebody gets a great deal on them. They still got a ton of warranty left on them, and I just stay in fresh power every year.
You know, the average boater's using his boat for 100 hours a year, 200 hours a year. Rush will put 1,000 hours on a set of motors every year.
Keeps me out of problems. Somebody gets some great motors, everybody's happy.
And he's kind of come up with a system where he gets to 600-700 hours on the motors, and he goes ahead and lists them for sale. As soon as they sell, he orders in a fresh set of power. It always keeps confidence and security of knowing that he's got the latest and greatest on the back of his boat.
I've been switching my motors out, you know, every year for the past 17, 18 years. So what are you thinking? What's on the menu this week?
Hey, I'm not driving the boat, buddy.
You don't care?
I'm into that red snapper stuff you were talking about. That'd be fun and different. Those things pull hard.
Well, now they're open on the weekends too, so we'll be able to keep a few if we want.
No, that'd be awesome. I'm all about that. Everywhere you fish generally has an on season and an off season. And from my understanding from talking to Rush in the past, you know, the heat of summer is definitely the off season here in the Keys. Stuff.
Jigging, bottom baits, pinfish, stuff like that.
Will they float like they do in
if you get
Florida?
them, as you go further and further up in the Gulf to like the West Coast, Tampa areas, if you get them on some shallower spots, yeah, I know up in Pensacola.
You know, one of the things that Rush has told me too was when he was younger guiding down here.
A little bit to your right, just a little bit.
I can't see that side, but
I got you, just a little bit to your right. You're good.
Summer would roll in, you know, by the end of June, basically, when the tarpon season was kind of over, this town would shut down completely until October. Now he says that's kind of changed because there is so much fish here. There are so many options. There's always something to catch in Key West, even in the off season.
There really isn't an off season anymore. There's always something to catch. We might not be catching the sailfish, the tuna, you know, our migratory species that we catch in the wintertime, but there's always reef fishing, there's deep dropping, and summertime's great for mahi fishing. The thing that comes along with the warmer weather is the warmer water. All our whitebait, all our pilchards, our herring basically, cigar minnows, they pretty much all migrate up north. They're up in the Gulf. Traps right there, you see the two bottles side by side?
Okay.
So if you want to just grab that gap.
2 traps or one?
2 traps. One of our main baits in the summertime is the pinfish. Little different program. We're not so much throwing the nets anymore.
Just barely. You know, catching the pinfish is a lot different. Normally, Rush is throwing the cast net, I'm driving the boat, we're sneaking around in real shallow water, trying to sneak up on a school and throw the cast net on them. Well, in the case of the pinfish, it's actually a lot simpler.
How's it look?
Loaded. We even got a permit bait in there for free.
Wow.
Dude,
Double
that
your
thing's
pleasure.
Jug. Rush and a buddy went out the night before our trip. They put out some traps. You put a block of chum in each trap, come back the next day, and I don't know if we were lucky or if that's normal, but those traps were loaded with bait.
One of the things I like about pinfish is they're extremely hardy. You pull the traps, you throw them in the well, put them in the barrel, you can feed them a little bit, they'll last for weeks, months. I mean, they are an extremely hardy bait. As long as you keep them fed, you can keep pinfish for months at a time, no problem.
Local knowledge is brought to you by Penn, let the battle begin. Yeti coolers, built for the wild. The Florida Keys and Key West, come as you are. BDOutdoors.com. And Evinrude.
The Slammer 3 uses a fully machined brass gear system.
And what that gives you is extreme durability and extreme cranking power.
DuraDrag material is the smoothest, most durable drag material we've ever used.
Yeah, that's him.
With seals on the drag system, around the main shaft and pinion gear, and the body, the Slammer 3 is sealed to our highest standard yet.
The future of boating is here. Now get all the efficient performance of an Evinrude E-Tech G2 in the new 150, 175, and 200 horsepower.
Fuel economy is everything.
I was really shocked how fuel efficient it is.
Anywhere from 40 to 50 miles further on a tank of fuel.
All day on the water. I told my wife, I said, you know, I can't think of the last time I filled up.
It's more money in the bank for me.
The best-in-class fuel economy of the Evinrude E-Tech G2 is now available from 150 to 300 horsepower. To learn more, visit evinrude.com.
Looks like a good little piece of structure.
Oh, it's awesome. This is where me, you, and Clark were fishing that day where those giant flags are coming up. I think I'm just gonna try this for a little bit. Put a bottom rod down, let it soak. See if we can pull a black or something up.
Black's kind of the one thing we haven't been able to get done out here for me. I had a couple shots, but haven't cashed that check yet.
Summertime for us and my clientele, it's a great time to do what we call grocery shopping. I got a couple like yellowtail rods rigged up right there.
You want to start with yellowtail?
Yeah, we're gonna put the chum in, kind of let that float back a little bit. The reef fishing is really good this time of year. We get a mangrove snapper bite that's great all through June, July. The yellowtail bite runs all through the summer. Start to build it up a little bit. Then we're gonna start putting a couple bottom rods down with some of those pinfish. Big yellowtail on that big rod in the back.
Yeah, with any kind of fishing, you know, they call it wind versus tide here. We call it wind against current at home. That is probably the single worst situation.
Still seems like we're moving.
What's that?
Still feels like we're moving.
Well, we're still coming by. You got wind against the tide.
And what that means is the tide may be pushing, you know, out of the west and the wind's coming out of the east. And what your boat does, instead of laying nice on the anchor and snug and not swinging around, your boat's fighting the anchor the whole time. The wind's trying to push it one direction, the current's trying to push it the other, or the tide, as they say.
Wind and tide's gonna make you or break you. All right, we gotta go. When you do find that condition, you know, tide's running back up the anchor, you could literally move a mile, 2 miles, 3 miles, and find the condition you're looking for. Try it right there, buddy. We could always let a little more off. I wanna see how we lay. Hard outgoing tide, ripping. Find the condition you're looking for, save your day, catch some nice fish, and make it happen. So let's just let that chum pump out a little bit. There's a couple rods rigged up for some yellowtail. Bring that big rod down from the top. We're gonna need some weight on that.
How many ounces you think?
With this tide, pretty heavy. So you see all this, and then you see the bigger fish right
Underneath, yeah.
laying underneath them.
One of the fish that I really didn't understand is the yellowtail snapper.
There's a bonito right here.
I would watch TV shows growing up from Florida and see guys going crazy to catch these little fish.
Or is it a yellowtail?
Now that's the guy you're after. Man, that's a nice flag. Holy smokes.
But then you kind of get down here and you see the importance of that fish, both commercially and sport fishing. It's always on tap. They pull really hard for a smaller fish. And most importantly, they are delicious.
I mean, you got your bread and butter yellowtail. These aren't quite our bread and butter this size, but we catch them a lot this size.
Every restaurant that serves fish is gonna have yellowtail on the menu.
They have to. It's the most sustainable fishery we have.
Yeah, there's definitely no shortage of them. They're good to eat, and they're fun to catch.
Gotta set them up, big dog.
I guess.
Somebody gotta catch you some bait. This one feels like the right size for you, my friend. Some good grade yellowtail right here. That's what I'm pretty much doing this time of year all summer long, you know? A little bit of this in the morning, go out, catch a few dolphin in the afternoon, maybe do a little deep dropping.
I mean, it really is every man's fish. Everybody in Florida, South Florida, really likes to catch them. And down here, they grow them big if you know where to look.
How could you say fishing's bad?
Oh,
I mean, just because you've caught the reef 14 times already.
Only like 6, and I like to tie knots. This is good practice.
They are nice. Nothing wrong with that. Look at that. Beautiful Florida Keys yellowtail.
They're cool fish.
One of my favorite things to do while I'm yellowtailing, put it on a bottom rod. Heavy tackle, locked up drag. I'm looking for the king of the reef, the black grouper. All right, Skip, are you gonna man this? Or are you gonna keep catching the bottom over there?
There's one fish down here that I really, really want to catch.
That strike, that thing was on terminate.
Yeah, I backed it off a little bit. So, but if he starts to run you to the house.
And here on the reef, right off of Key West, that fish is the black grouper.
Row, row, row.
Come on!
Come on.
We're just getting started. We lost a day getting ready to go.
Reel down to the water until it's rip and drag.
BDOutdoors.com is your one-stop source for all things fishing, boating, and outdoors. Stay dialed in with current fishing reports, breaking news, and our extensive library of how-to tips. You'll learn about rigging, fish cleaning, boat maintenance. We have recipes for seafood and game, cutting-edge videos, and gear giveaway contests. It's all free at BDOutdoors.com.
You just gotta take what it gives you, buddy. The bottom's not working.
Apparently, the bottom is clearly not working at this point.
So far, I'm batting 100. Look at this one.
What you got, Capitan?
The yellowtail the same size as the mahi we're catching right now.
Jeez.
A lot of people, especially South Florida people, know what a flag yellowtail is.
Stud yellowtail.
These things must spawn at an unbelievable rate.
They've got to, right? There's so many of them.
A legal yellowtail is a 12-inch fish. It's a little baby fish. But we get these fish upward 3, 4, 5, 6 pounds. At the way they come out of the water, it doesn't matter where you go either. You go back and pull your pinfish trap, baby yellowtail all in it. You go
crazy.
Little patch reef, little yellowtails.
Every time you snorkel or dive here, you're covered up in them.
Yellowtails everywhere. These yellowtail, they swarm up behind the boat. Normally when you find them, that's the grade of fish you're gonna find. If you're catching 12 inchers, you're gonna catch 12 inchers. When you start to get into them, those bigger fish are around, and it's that 2, 3, 4 pound grade, those are the ones you're gonna catch.
Just need to go to the stealth rig. God, these things pull so hard for such a little fish.
I know. That's a nice fish, dude.
Oh, these things,
There's nothing, no shame in that game right there.
Not at all, man. Dude, he was hooked like nobody's business.
Yeah, an engine room, huh?
No, like.
Oh, drop it. Not in the water, on the deck, real.
The thing with the black grouper is you're not really fishing it rod in hand. Sometimes it takes a minute to get a bite, sometimes it takes an hour.
Seems to be a recurring theme with us. It's just a shark.
So generally what we'll do is we'll send that yellowtail hooked down as a bait, and then we'll sit there by the rod for 10, 15 minutes, whatever. Okay, there's not one right in the neighborhood, but there's generally one around.
Oh, hold on. Come on, big girl, you got him coming. Gaining?
Just like, no.
No.
Make no mistake, these black grouper are big, powerful fish.
Nobody said it was gonna be easy. You want me to get the 150 out?
You know, when we're getting bit, we're generally fishing a 30 wide with the drag locked down, a big circle hook, trying to catch them in the corner of the mouth. That fish has got other ideas.
Oh, Ollie, get ready. Pick up a crank. They will come up, ambush that bait, and as soon as they grab it, they're heading straight for the house again.
Should I crank it up to strike?
You got them coming. I don't know if you could lift it up and start to pump.
I don't think I'll have better leverage with this rod, you know? I got like 10 or 15 feet on them quick.
Now you got them off, whatever it is, you got them off the bottom. I just don't like that angle.
No, I'm not a big fan either.
You know, Ali's had some terrible luck. He hasn't got the feel for that big grouper bottom fishing here in the Keys. Actually, it's starting to come high.
It's Jewfish.
No, it's not a Jewfish.
When you've got that heavy rod down and you're trying to catch that black, there's really only one other kind of bycatch that we seem to get.
It's a big old something.
It's a big shark. Big old shark.
And that's the man in the gray suit.
That is a big old lemon, huh?
That is a big old something. All right, get your gloves on, buddy. All right, here's a swivel rush.
Back the drag off. I'm trying to find the gloves.
The one thing here that I've definitely learned is there's no shortage of sharks. They have definitely not heard of the off season.
Big old goofy lemon shark. Gotta love them.
Yeah, couldn't have been a black grouper, could it? That's a big shark.
Monkey right there.
Twin
fin.
Is that as big as they get?
That's pretty much as big as they get right there, buddy. They all swim together. Sharks, snappers, sailfish. Call this the 3 S's.
He's not done. Whoa.
I caught that giant lemon shark. I didn't even know they got that big.
Woo! Angry.
That was some power. Dude, that was impressive.
Sticker's still there.
As close as you're gonna get to a sure thing for catching billfish is Guatemala.
They're here, man. This has been a 20-year run, buddy. These things haven't left. There's no cycle.
When it comes to sail fishing, this is the real deal.
The amount of sailfish here is ridiculous.
When the Spanish explorers discovered Isla Morada, they called it Purple Isles. Today, they'd discover such a rich palette of diversions and delicacies, they'd definitely be at a loss for words. Isla Morada in the Florida Keys.
Local knowledge is brought to you by Andros Boatworks. Adventure never ends. Mustad Hooks, defining fishing hooks since 1877. AFTCO, the American Fishing Tackle Company. Costa, see what's out there. And by Casa Vieja Lodge. Experience 5-star angling in tropical Guatemala.
I'm just gonna run up and down this edge here real quick, try and print a few fish, and then it's gonna be the same program. You know, we're gonna have a couple of rods with the sinker rigs on them. If I end up throwing the anchor, we'll drift a couple bonito chunks back, a lot deeper, obviously, 210, 215 feet. Muttons on the bottom, there's been a lot of red snapper around.
I'm always down to catch red snapper. I love catching them. They're hard fighting, they're good eating, you know, they're an awesome looking fish. And Rush said he had a few spots, and I was down to give it a try.
So
Now 200 feet, are you gonna mess with a chum bag or no?
no
Too
chum
deep?
bag out here, no.
Okay.
I will throw some of that sand mix in the water though.
Get them fired up.
Yeah, a little bit of that.
There's some life right there.
A little bit of bait as I come up on that edge right here. A red snapper is another snapper we catch here in the Keys. We catch yellowtail, muttons, mangrove. I mean, we pretty much have them all. A little sloppy woppy. Oh, this stuff just gets better as the day goes on.
More enjoyable.
They like to hang out in that 150, 180, 200 feet, up to 300 feet.
I don't know what I got. I don't feel like a grouper. I feel like a bonito or something.
Well, being that I just got cut off, it's got to be a grouper.
Steak and drag, that's all that matters to me, Rush. This time of year, I'm just happy to pull on a fish. Oh no!
Mutton. There's your mutton.
Oh no!
There is your mutton.
There is dinner.
That's what I get for talking bad about the way you cut your fish. Oh, somebody bite him?
Oh yeah, he did get munched.
Look at the other side. Look at the other side. Woo, somebody took a good bite out of him, huh?
You know what we do with damaged goods like this, right? He could swim right into a Yeti and come to California with me. Man, even a little guy like this, when he chomps down, you can feel that force, man. His jaw's cracking on crabs, and that jaw is so strong, it's crazy.
Targeting red snapper was pretty similar to the other places we fished them in. They like structure, and they like to be around their bait.
Got him that time.
Made him pay?
Made him pay. The 8-inch yellowtail is gonna pay. Oh, no, this is Key West's finest breakfast right here. Grits and grunts.
What do you got? Oh, did you get the grunt?
Now there's your grouper bait right there.
They love those?
I love those.
So he had a few hard bottom spots, a little bit deeper than we would normally fish, 150, 200 feet deep, that looked like they were holding on the meter. So we went and checked a few of them, and by the second or third spot, we'd found them.
Red snapper, take 3. The only problem with dropping so deep, it's gotta come up a long, long way. There it is.
The man.
These things are scarce, they say.
Yeah, the highly endangered Florida red snapper.
I tell you.
Oh my gosh.
They're so pretty. So pretty. It's like, it's not even red, it's like orangish red.
Yeah, we got a fish we catch in Mexico that's the same thing. They call it a huachinango, but it's a red snapper. They're almost identical, just a different forehead shape. Same fight, same good eating, you know, everything good about the snapper.
You know, red snapper are definitely one of the hottest topics right now. Everywhere you go up in the Gulf, even here in the Keys, everybody knows the red snapper have come back in huge numbers. They've come back tenfold.
So you can keep a red snapper on the weekend, right?
Yeah.
During the summer or something?
They changed it this year. It's open till September, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I think Labor Day, they'll have it open the whole time.
Okay.
You know, there's been probably no fish, except for maybe bluefin tuna, that's kind of garnered the press that the red snapper has over the last few years. You know, we as fishermen really believe that there was some bad science behind a bunch of closures that have happened in the Gulf and in Florida for these fish.
When we were working with Louisiana and fishing out there a lot, I cannot tell you, dude. I mean, if you wanted to catch 1,000 of those in a day, it's totally doable.
The government, for whatever reason, has decided that these fish are almost extinct. They need to have an immediate closure. You can only fish them on certain weekends during the summer. We as sportsmen know, being on the water hands-on, there are plenty of these fish to go around.
Like I told you before we went out, it's off season. Fishing's not gonna be like our normal routine.
Hey, we came down to do a little bit of business and we caught, you know, all the usual suspects. Looks like I got something going here too.
The one thing I did learn coming out of this trip was the off-season really isn't an off-season.
There really is no off-season here. I mean, here it is, our off-season. We're catching huge yellowtail, red snapper, bonitas. There's great fishing to be had, even in the off-season.
Not bad for a goof-off day, huh?
No, not at all.